What about the people who are outside the civilization band and thus can't really get access to the medicine?
It's fine. The factory must grow. Don't ask questions. Grow the factory, Supa.
Every time Perlica tells you to just...
Exactly. And also give her $30,000 on PayPal. Have you ever heard of a little town called Italy? Have you heard of Italy? I have. And I got a video here from a certain Italian person, friend of the show, Supa, friend of the channel. Is Arknights Endfield a good sequel to Arknights? I have a lot of opinions on sequels and what makes a good sequel. So I'm actually here. I'm going to school Supa for once, okay? Everybody says that Supa is the... Oh, Clay would be nothing without Supa. He can play... Oh, Arknights. What? Pfft. Listen, I'm going to prove him wrong today. I'm going to teach Supa a thing or two. What the fuck is that? Hold on. What the What did they do to Abyss? Oh god, thank god Abyss is not here to see this. Oh my god. What has he done to our Lapland?
Video
Genius gay shipper? Oh my god.
is sponsored by you. Links to our channel are in the description, along with the Discord, which you should join. Hello there, Arknights. Field, most Italian YouTuber here.
If Tectone ever actually, he keeps rage baiting saying that he's gonna be coming back to Arknights. If Tectone ever comes back to Arknights, Supa will lose his top spot as the most hated YouTuber for 3 seconds until Tectone leaves again. But listen, the king can only be the king for so long.
I want to preface this video by saying that this is not a review of the game. I believe that to properly review a live service game, you need to experience the live service, meaning a proper full review of the game from me won't come.
I have a feeling that I'm going to be talking like Supa for the rest of the stream.
Until version 2.0 at least. Don't get me wrong, the game is good, it's really good, but I feel a better question when it comes to Arknights Endfield is it a good sequel? Those...
I don't know if I don't really call Arknights Endfield a sequel to Arknights. It's more like a spiritual successor. But even that's kind of a bad term because that implies that, like, if it succeeded the original, then there's no reason to go back to the original. But the original is a pure tower defense or tower offense game, I should say. And this game, yeah, it's more like a spin-off. It's more like a spiritual, not even a spiritual spin. I don't know. I don't like words.
Are different things, and when it comes to that question, the first has to overcome is its genre. Immediately from the get-go, this could be considered a flaw. I can't count how many times I have seen criticism of Endfield masquerading as intelligent game design analysis, but that once put under scrutiny is revealed to just be a contempt for the genre. If you don't get...
Every criticism of Arknights Endfield just comes back to Genshin, and it's like Genshin is such a shit game that you're comparing a game to Genshin just to remind people that Genshin is terrible while still trying to defend it. It's the weirdest psychological psyop that I've seen in gaming in recent memory.
Get it?
It's almost as annoying as people that buy the new COD every single year or the new Pokemon every single year. They go, game sucks, but I'm gonna buy the next one anyway. Let
me put it this way. It's 2011 and From Software releases Dark Souls. It's a success, a niche hit.
Dark Souls.
Different from everything on the market at the time. Propelled to incredible heights by a very loyal fanbase. Then, in 2014, From Software goes to make Dark Souls 2.
Everybody fucking hates Dark Souls 2. Also, oh, look at that. Dark Sus 2. Oh no.
And in an attempt to capture a wider audience, Dark Souls 2 is an NBA clone.
What?
Even once you go and play it, turns out the game is an amazing NBA title on its own merits. In a vacuum, this could be a really good basketball game.
What the fuck is bro talking about?
But you can see how that's a kind of an issue compared to the previous title, right? This sentiment when it comes to Endfield, I perfectly understand. It is a valid way to feel. What it is not is a valid criticism of the game. It is criticizing the game for what it is not rather than what it is.
Yeah, that's basically like the people that compare a factory game to Genshin Impact and like it's some kind of criticism. It's like, oh well, in Genshin Impact you run around and you fight things, so any other game where you run around and you fight things, it's also Genshin Impact. Not mentioning the fact that it's got a fucking factory system. The way that you acquire gear is completely fucking different. It's the most obnoxious fucking thing I've ever, like, it's so annoying.
Despite this very drastic
but like Left 4 Dead, like Left 4 Dead 2 is literally just Left 4 Dead, just with new guns, new characters, new maps. It's the exact same game and new enemies. So like calling Left 4 Dead 2 a sequel is kind of ridiculous because it's basically just glorified DLC. Did you guys know that apparently, I swear this is just, I thought this was just a meme. Is it true that Overwatch 2, they're deleting the 2 from the title and just going back to calling it Overwatch? I mean, it's like, what the fuck are we even doing anymore?
genre change, I believe the game can
That means that they ended Overwatch and then came out with Overwatch 2 that nobody asked for. They were like, we're going to add campaign PvE modes to the game. And then, get this. They go, sorry guys, we've been trying to make the PvE for a couple years, and we just can't do it. And it's like, you're Blizzard. You made Diablo and StarCraft and Warcraft or World of Warcraft and the original Overwatch. You've made single-player games, PvE games, your entire career. And now you're telling me you can't put a PvE mode in one of your games? And then they were like, yeah, sorry, we don't know how to make single player PvE content anymore, so we're just not gonna do it, but we're still gonna call the game Overwatch 2. And then 4 years later they're like, all right, we're not even gonna call it Overwatch 2 anymore, we're just gonna call it Overwatch. What the fuck? Human beings are not a serious race of creatures.
Still be a good sequel to Arknights if it expands on the gameplay and the story of the original. For me, that's what a good sequel should be, an expansion and a refinement of the original game's systems and the gameplay loop, carrying over iconic elements while also expanding or subverting the elements of the original story and plot.
I always say that a good sequel should do everything that the first game did well, but do it better. And anything that the first game did bad, take it out. But that's why you can't really call Endfield a sequel because it's a completely different genre.
I know it sounds like I had
and like, you know what? Because like Jak and Daxter, if anybody even remembers that series, has been dead for 40 years. Jak and Daxter was just a collectathon puzzle or a collectathon platformer, and then the sequels were third-person action GTA shoot-'em-up games. Completely fucking different, but they're way better than the first game, I'm telling you.
a concussion when I suggest that a 3D open area.
Technically, Limbus Company is a sequel to Library of Ruina, and it's almost the same fight, almost the same combat system, but it's actually kind of worse. But yet the game is somehow still better.
Action RPG with
There's no system, there's no science to this, is what I'm trying to say.
factory builder elements could be an expansion on the gameplay of a top-down 2D tower defense RTS. So let's...
By the way, there actually are like full-on tower defense missions in Endfield, and they just need to flesh those out a lot more.
Start from there. What is it that made the original Arknights gameplay special? Most people will tell you it's the strategy, but I feel that is too vague of a term, and right now
I think the fact that it's a tower defense game, but it doesn't feel like a tower defense game, it's really weird.
it's being tossed out as the mystical X factor that Endfield is missing without proper elaboration, rendering it effectively.
Yeah, it's kind of more akin to an RTS than a tower defense, because you have to delete characters and put other characters down. And like, you know, there's a bunch of different strats. It's not just put the big character in this one area. Like there's a lot of different things. And to me, it just feels like a tower defense game became an RTS game and then just threw every single unit in the entire world against you. That's what it feels like to me. Like I feel like I'm playing an RTS game where everybody in the world is just sending enemies at me, just spawning enemies in, and I'm just losing my mind.
Just a buzzword. So let's define what strategy means. In my opinion, we can define it as preparation, interaction with the game's systems, and freedom when it comes to putting a plan together. Those are the three core tenets that make Arknights gameplay one of a kind. When you are faced with an
Also, the fact that they somehow turned this like real-time strategy tower defense game into a soccer game. They actually had an event where you had to use your towers to kick a ball into the enemy's goal. And I actually played that with Quirk actually on the channel. That was crazy. I never thought that I would be playing a tower defense game and soccer at the same time.
Arknights stage, you are forced to interact with its unique gimmicks and enemies. Most of the time anyway, which leads you to preparing a team. Then you go in and perform your planned out strategy. Everyone has a specific role and contributes to the whole, but at the same time you have immense freedom when it comes to constructing that team and strategy. Arknights is a sandbox game, and I will never stop saying it.
I loved that one level, even though it kicked my fucking ass. The one level where you have to place the blocks to like create your own lanes to funnel the enemies into a certain way so that you can block all the exits. I was like, this is so much fucking fun. I have no idea how I'm supposed to complete it, but it's so much fucking fun.
Now, let's look at Endfield. Despite what you may have been told, Endfield plays very differently from the other 3D gacha rotation slop action.
I don't know about that, dude. I play the funny electric team and I just spam all the buttons and then I hit the right bumper and then I go woo 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 and everything dies.
On the games, it is much slower paced and it is a lot less about reacting to what the enemy does.
I said this before, the combat to me, it's almost as mindless as Zenless Zone Zero, but for some reason it still makes me go, hi, I'm autistic. I'm having fun.
In other action games, you are demanded mechanical skill to pull off combos.
I'm sorry, but the guy sounds like Dracula. How dare you? We have to get Super to go, I want to suck your blood.
Chain attack strings together, react to what the enemy is doing, or sometimes play one-handed.
Why is Eve so hot? How did Stellar Blade not win Game of the Year?
Endfield obviously has this as well, but to a much lesser extent. Characters only have the one basic combo outside of skills. There is no air combat. The dodge window is outrageously generous, and reacting to—
which is a good thing, because during the beta test, everyone was saying that the dodge was broken and terrible and unfun to play.
The enemies boils down to interrupting or dodging when they glow a bright ass red. What Endfield is about is everything before and surrounding the combat. Endfield puts a lot of emphasis on the preparation phase of the combat, so to speak. You will spend a lot of time in this screen just brainstorming.
I don't know about that, dude. I just kind of buy the best armor that I could or make, and then I just kind of put it on the characters, and then I go in and I hit all the buttons, and then I hit right bumper, and I go wiggity wiggity woo, and then I just kill everything.
What links into what, and how to get the—
By the way, this bit, I saw a ridiculous comment today.
This screen just brainstorming.
So somebody pointed out that Perlica, I can't even say this, dude. I saw, this was on Reddit, okay? I saw a comment that said that Perlica wears a walkie-talkie around her ankles so that when the male endman is railing her, he can take calls on the walkie-talkie while he sucks on her toes. Now that's just fucking diabolical. Whoever fucking said that needs to go into the Hall of Fame.
Links into what, and how to get the most damage out of which rotation, and which gear, and which weapons. This is where essentially all your damage is. It's in the combos, and skills, and ultimates, and amps, and buffs, and debuffs.
What I'm trying to say is that when people say that I'm weird, I'm the normal one, okay? I see what you people are posting out in the wild.
All being chained one after the other. Your basic attacks are equal to slapping the enemy with wet napkins, so you need to figure out a synergistic team earlier. Thankfully, there is a lot of variation to play around with. Each team has tons of variants, and each character can be put in many teams. You are free to mix and match however you want, as long as there is some sense.
I don't think you can, because like I tried playing the game as just like the Endman, Chen, Perlica, and I think the nun bitch, and I was doing no damage at all. I switched to an all lightning team and everything is dying.
Semblance of a plan and brain activity going on. In other words, Endfield is less about the moment-to-moment combat and mechanical skill, and much more about preparing a team, planning a combo and rotation, and then performing it to give the enemy no chance to fight back in the first place. And this should start to sound familiar. When playing Endfield, I am finding myself having to use more of the skills I learned in Arknights than the skills I learned in other action games.
I don't know how what?
On the surface they look worlds apart, and they literally are, but in execution the same design principles carried over.
I think what they need to do, instead of doing the Hoyo or Wuthering Waves thing where they just add new elements to the game so that you have to farm for the new character that has the new element to do the new damage type, I think what they should do is they should start putting the turrets into the actual combat so that there will be enemies that have like huge blue shields or something, and you have to put down a turret that'll do a certain type of damage to break the person's shield so that you can go in and then use your abilities. That's what I want to see. I want to see them melding the turret combat from the original game and the hack and slash from this game. I do not want to have to pull for the new I don't want to have to pull for the new Wind Plus character that does Wind Plus damage, and if you don't get Wind Plus, then you're not going to be able to complete the combat, the new combat that they added into the game that only takes damage from Wind Plus characters. Wind is not good enough. You have to have Wind Plus because that's the new meta. I don't want to fucking see that in this game.
When it comes to interacting with stage mechanics, however, that is where Endfield fails. Right now, there is hardly any instance of having to interact with enemy or stage mechanics and adapt to them. Umbral Monument.
So that's just because you're out in the world, in the open world, so it's not really a controlled situation.
Seems to be bringing that back in some form. It's not out yet in the launch build, but I did try it in beta too. And indeed, each stage had unique gimmicks you had to play.
Oh god, I forgot. We got a free 6-star selector in Endfield. I might have to get Last Right. I want to get me some Last Right.
Around and adapt.
I have a maxed out Snowshine now, so my ice team is going to be fantastic.
For example, stage 1 had repeatedly spawning immobile ranged enemies that gained attack over time, meaning you had to find both a way to repeatedly burst down enemies for the entire length of the stage and keep your team alive without a reliable team-wide healer, as your NPC companions can't dodge like you do, and thus are easy peeking.
By the way, I hope at some point in maybe this could be the first game that does it. Seeing as how you could have like a team of 12 people in the original Arknights, well, I want them to add something into the game where like you can bring a team of 8 and you can switch between your two teams and maybe like do some bosses that's like it has like an ice form and then a fire form, so you have to bring an ice team and a fire team into the fight. I want to see some new fucking shit. Like either add like turrets into the actual combat or give us some more characters or something. I just don't want it to become the same thing as fucking Hoyo or fucking, you know, I don't want this to become a Hoyo clone.
For the ranged enemies. Another part of the Endfield combat.
Oh, I got a ridiculous comment on my other Arknights video. Somebody was saying that like they're not going to play Arknights Endfield because of the blueprint system, because if the game allows you to share other people's blueprints, that shows that Hypergriff doesn't have any faith in the factory, and therefore they have no faith in the game and there's no reason to play the game. And I'm like, they released the game with an entire factory like component. Like the factory is a huge part of the game. in what world do you think that they release the game with the factory and they don't have faith in the factory? Are you stupid?
Falls short in, ironically, is because of its
Also, the blueprints are optional. You don't have to use them.
focus on preparation. You only kind of prepare once. As I said, there is no stage that forces you to switch up your team comp. So once you're done planning, all you're left with is the combat, which over time can start to become samey and stale. Due to the game's focus on combos and skills, you really feel the downtime in combat much more than the competitive.
Yeah, when you use your abilities, you feel like you're waiting around for 5 minutes for your abilities to come back. It's awful.
Again, I have hope that events like Umbral Monument will address this, better to show the promise already. So, when it comes to the gameplay, I am willing to give Endfield 1.0 a tentative checkmark. I cannot say the same about the story. The idea of subverting the original game entirely is cool.
Every negative comment goes back to Tobero. I'll be the first one to tell you that I hate a game or that a game doesn't appeal to me or that a game is boring or like whatever. But like Enfield is the most fun that I've ever had with a gacha game, because it just feels it's kind of like how I felt when what's it called? Star Rail. When Star Rail first came out, it was fantastic. It felt like a concrete solid $60 game. It went to shit like most Hoyo games do. But like with Endfield, I feel like it's just a solid, well-made, beautiful game that unfortunately has to be a gacha game to support the fact that it's live service. And it's just fucking good. So when I see people comparing it, it's like comparing Arknights Endfield to Genshin is like comparing Death Stranding to Metal Gear Solid. Like, just because they both have guns doesn't mean that they're the same game. Like, Death Stranding has guns, but it's about building the world and living in the world and getting resources and stuff like that. Arknights Endfield has combat, and the combat is passable, but it is basically a factory game for autists like myself to watch numbers go up. So it's like there's no point to compare it to fucking Genshin, but people have to, because it's literally the only thing they can say about it. They can't just say like, "Oh yeah, I hear that people are really having fun with Arknights Endfield." They have to go, "It's over. It's going down the tubes. It's over."
On paper, I have a soft spot for sequels that go,
because they're stuck playing a game that's exactly like Genshin or playing Genshin themselves or itself, and they're pissed off because they know that the game could be better and could be different. But they have created an audience of people that are like, "Oh no, you have to say Kuro good. You have to say Hoyo good. If you say anything else, we're not gonna watch you anymore."
The completely opposite direction compared to the original with its themes. The first game is about the dangers of Originium and trying to get it under control and showing how much of a plague it is. The second game is all about planting Originium on a new planet and showing that, hey, maybe it can be pretty poggers sometimes.
I'm gonna play Enfield after this, and I'm gonna load up my factories, and I want to see Zombie King's reaction, because I'm pretty sure if he hasn't signed the divorce papers yet, he might just sign them at the end of the stream.
I also really like the approach of making Endfield Industries and especially Perlica extremely shady. Several times administrator questions Perlica about is it really a good idea to introduce Oripathy on Talos 2 for the sake of better factory production? What about the people who are outside the civilization band and thus can't really get access to the medicine?
It's fine. The factory must grow. Don't ask questions. Grow the factory, Supa.
Every time Perlica tells you to just
exactly, and also give her $30,000 on PayPal.
Not worry about it, kitten. And fucking hell, putting a factory inside the villages can't possibly have.
Don't worry about it. Build the factory, for fuck's sake.
No pollution issues, can it? Especially noise pollution. However, I am not sure that the end.
Didn't we cure this kid's rock cancer at the beginning of the game? It's all it comes out in the wash. It's fine.
Story is aware that
everything comes up Arknights, okay?
Endfield Industries is kinda shady. The game is written in such a way where it both hints that what Endfield Industries is doing is ethically grey and there is more under the surface, but also never truly addresses it beyond Ardashir doing his little gay implications and staring longingly into the male Endmin's eyes. The setting feels
He didn't stare into my Edmund's eye. My Edmund knew that he's no good.
too utopian. The factories are perfect problem solvers with no pollution and no harm to the nearby environment. The Originium is fine, having a giant-ass cave of it.
Listen, it's just like the real world. We're not gonna switch to these electric cars, okay? If it stops me from getting to my Arby's, if it stops me from getting to my double bacon cheeseburger, okay, then I ain't gonna be getting rid of my gas guzzling Hummer H3.
Apparently has no adverse side effects, but
People pay attention to the story. Well, apparently everyone says that the story in this game is not that good. I wouldn't know because I have a skip button. Oh yeah.
the people becoming infected while working. But the cure is super good and affordable now, so don't worry. In the end, the times where Endfield points out that Endfield Industries is very shady almost feel accidental. The writing is also really shallow. Neferif is literally not a
Bro, she showed up and I was like, step on me, I need you to step on me. And then she showed up like 1 or 2 more times and then never showed up ever again.
character. The Bone Crushers, despite being a faction of
These guys are losers.
humans, serve the same role in the narrative as the Ageloids, and the entire Valley 4 arc can be summarized as nothing more than the good guys versus bad guys, all while making Administrator this really boring Super Jesus figure that can solve any problem.
That's literally every gacha game though, pretty much.
Arknights early chapters were really poorly written as well, but the plot was
Well, you gotta build the world. That's what I can't stand. You ever try listening to an audiobook or like even reading a book and there's like an entire chapters where like the main character is just like thinking about stuff, like Dexter. My God, the final book of Dexter was like that, where like there's like 17 pages in a row of Dexter going, oh, should I do this? I don't know. Should I do that? Things could go wrong if I do this, do that. It's like, get to the fucking... Let's get moving along, all right? I'm here for a story, not a fucking... I'm not here to pull my dick, okay? Fucking give me a story.
no one has ever gained rights by asking the oppressor nicely.
You don't get your rights by asking angrily either. You just get a bullet in the head.
What Reunion and Rhodes Island want to achieve requires violence. The question then becomes, well,
Yeah, I'm so like there was like a huge push in the 2000s of like making the main character like morally gray, like, oh, Tony Soprano, he's a piece of shit, he cheats on his wife, but god damn, he's just a lovable teddy bear. And then like Walter White, like, yeah, he kills a bunch of people, but like he's doing it for his family, man. Like that's just kind of how life is. Like there aren't any like that's why superheroes are so cringe. It's like, I'm doing this because it's the right thing. Okay, well then kill the Joker. I can't do that. That would make me just as bad as Joker. Yeah, well, Joker is killing everyone and laughing as he does it. Oh, I can't kill Ahab for getting all my friends murdered and my girlfriend murdered. I'm gonna let Ahab live. She's gonna come back in fucking 10 chapters and start killing everybody. Kill her now. No, I can't. It'll make me just as bad as... Shut the fuck up.
where do you draw the line? And how do you apply this inevitable violence in the most just way possible? All of this, by the way, is
Walter White was not doing it for his family. That's... God, you gotta read between the lines. It was always about his family, man. Come on.
set up in chapters 0 to 4, which was the story the game launched with. In comparison, Endfield gets so blown out of the water that they fly all the way to the stratosphere. Given Endfield is showing clear signs that they will do Are We the Baddies rag pull.
I'm so sick think of, wait a minute, well, we came here to build all these factories, but like, what if we do pollution? It's just like, do you want to cure rock cancer or not? Okay? Let's fucking pick a lane, people. All right?
If calling you a savior.
Besides, the people that are meant to live, they'll meld with the pollution. They'll become stronger.
Mockingly, and mean questioning Perlica, the papers scattered about, Ardashir having gay sex with the male and...
Okay, we don't... Let's just cool it, okay?
All
He's not having sex with my Endman, gay or otherwise.
toward that, but the launch story just can't hold a candle to the originals. The
rock cancer is no more in Enfield. Okay, well, do you wanna cure super rock cancer? We need the factories. Pick a lane, people.
only time Endfield comes close is in the companion quests of all places. Levatins not only finally gives Sutra lore after like 6
Oh yeah, I did her mission the other day, and she's like talking. She actually said Suitor's name, and I was just like, oh my god, it's connected. By the way, armpit.
fucking years, but also gives
That was more like tit pit, but you know what I'm saying.
quite a
Side boob.
lot of characterization to the Endman while exploring what it means to be a reconvener, a new person with the appearance and vague memories of someone else long dead. Yvonne's is an emotional and really well-written exploration of grief.
And the best part about these, oh my god, Yvonne. The best part about these stories, you could just skip the whole thing with that skip button right there. Oh yeah!
Very nice little twist towards the end that reframes the entire quest. Wolfguards
No one gives a shit about Wolfman Jack, okay?
explores that sometimes you need to leave people behind, even people who were once important to you, even family.
I was about to make the joke of, I don't have any friends. They just slow me down. And that's literally its fucking story.
Sometimes must be moved away from to allow for true growth. And finally, Angelina's
By the way, the character designer in Arknights Enfield really likes tights and leggings.
uses love
I'm not complaining.
and romantic relationships to deliver a message of living in the moment, to not poison the present with the worries of the future, to
Does
treasure
anybody else want to curb stomp Gilberta?
the relationships you form with others, platonic
I look at that. I look at this face.
worries of the future, to treasure
Hold on.
the relationship.
I look at this face and I say, what is even the point of you? We need to we need to do something about you.
So you form with others, platonic or not, even knowing
I just get a rage.
that eventually it will all inevitably end. It's genuinely
Oh my god, Yvonne.
great stuff that is on the level of the original.
I don't know what it is about Yvonne. Maybe it's the fact that she has horns, or she's a crocodile alligator. Or maybe it's the tits or the ass, but there's something that I usually don't go for the pink hair characters. But my god, don't grip me, Zombie King! Not at a time like this!
Even in the main
Oh my god, this chick is it the eye patch chick? Her name is Tang Tang, by the way. Do you meet her and the first thing that she does is get on all fours in the Jack O position? How? Bravo. Bravo, Hypergriff. Bravo.
story, I really like the Tang Tang and Mifu's relationship.
Tang Tang's about to be bang bang, you know what I'm saying? That's classless and that's disgusting.
Their bickering feels organic.
By the way, mommy?
And the moments
Mommy?
where you can tell that they truly care about each other do not feel heavy-handed. The entire section after the title class boss fight was really
Oh, look at these bazams. Oh,
sweet. In conclusion, I think Endfield
bro, I fought this boss when I had gray gear. Got him down to like a quarter of his health bar and then wiped. I came back with like half blue, half purple, but I had this team. I had actually this exact team. Fucking melted him. He was whatever it is, melted this son of a bitch. It was so
Is an amazing game, but
I went from doing like no damage for fucking 2 hours whittling its health bar down to beating it within 10 minutes.
fortunately a pretty mediocre sequel.
That's a woman, Clay. It's dead now, so it doesn't matter.
However, show a lot of promise for future versions. The gameplay carries over design aspects from the original despite being an entirely
I don't know how you can say that until they start actually putting tower defense into the actual combat.
different genre, but can be repetitive and boring without proper stage mechanics to challenge you. The story
I think they have to do one of those two things or both. Either allow us to use turrets in the battle or allow us to make two teams, like a team of 4 of one, a fire team and then another team of like another element or something. They have to do something like that because I could definitely see how the combat would become boring.
is bland, boring, and shallow, but at several points, it does show you that the people in the writer's room still got it. And that's all.
It's also really hard to be extremely critical of a game when it first comes out, as a live service game when it first comes out, because the entire point about a live service game is that it's supposed to build and build and build and get better and get quality of life and stuff like that. So yeah, it's like all of the dumb criticism out the gate for this game is really annoying, and I want more people to actually like come out and like glaze this game when it's doing well, because it deserves it. If it starts shitting the bed like Star Rail or fucking any Hoyo game, then we can start fucking complaining.
Max out your Rakekuri. Bye.
Oh my god. Remember when Supa made his own version of my end screen? Incredible. So everybody go like and subscribe to Supa. He deserves it, okay? He collabed with me twice, so you know he has good taste, okay?
내 놈의 추한 시선이 가진 신선감. 떨어지고 있어.